Hey guys, what's going on? So I went through a lot of different titles for how I wanted to title this video, and I did settle with why you will never find a mirror match guide. There were other titles that I came up with that were probably catchier. Complete mirror match guide, and then I was gonna be like, no, this isn't. Like I was gonna start my video with like, no, this isn't. But that's how much like pre-planning I have to do. It's like, what do I want to title this? Because that is going to determine, if you don't already get that, that's going to determine like the tone of how I want like my video to go. And I'm going to make this as a serious video. I was going to be jokey about it, but I'm going to make this as a serious video. And this is why you will probably never find anybody to create a mirror match guide for you. I understand the question. I understand that mirror match being the only, especially being the only event, a mirror match how-to guide for every deck is something that, you know, like, or how to win every match in mirror match, is something that people would want, especially people that don't play the game, people that don't have all the cards, people that just start. I understand the question, but I would like to, I'll start off with this. One, if somebody were to make a mirror match guide, it would be 20 hours long, and people would see that video length and be like, I'm not going to watch that. In the same way that most people probably haven't gotten to 1 minute and 42 seconds of this video, because I already stated at the beginning of this video that it's not a mirror match guide. And I feel like people want the quick, easy answer to everything, and that's not what this game is. That's not what life is. I feel like most people, the comment that I get the most in whatever way, shape, or form, is how do I beat everybody and don't spend money and don't spend a lot of effort? Can you explain to me how to beat everybody and I don't want to spend money and you tell me how to do it? That is like in a bunch of different ways, shape, and form, like that is the most frequently asked question in this game to content creators. I want to beat everybody, but I don't want to spend money and I don't know how. You tell me how and I'll do that. And short of like do it for me, like just short of play the game for me, because this game it's a game where you need to play the game in order to understand how to play the game. I feel like I've made like hour-long complete guides about how to play a character because I've spent obviously that much like way longer than however long that video, that like 1 hour video is, playing that unit over and over and over to understand like the nuances and the things. And a lot of people, I feel like they don't want to take the time to do that. They just want somebody to tell them how do I do this? And so then I'll make like a complete guide. And that's what I'm going to continue doing. But I'll make like a complete guide for Tesla, a complete guide for Treant, and people will probably look at the length of that video and be like, I don't want to sit through this. And so like people asking like, oh, mirror match guide when? If somebody were to make a complete guide on how to play every single mirror match deck and all of its variations and how to win at every single mirror match, nobody would watch that video because it would be like 20 hours long. It would be so in-depth and insane. And the reason why, if you don't understand, what I've been doing is I've been linking people to this post that I did, which is, I took this from Discord. Somebody collated every single mirror match deck. You can note that the Trapper doesn't have talents, but obviously Trapper has talents now. And essentially this is like a rough idea of how many mirror match decks there are. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 30. There are roughly 32 different mirror match decks, which includes variations on talents for each unit. So, for example, in my example that I'm going to use later, I'm playing Ifrit Genie, and the Sultanate Genie is also one of the different decks. So you can't even say like, oh, Genie is a deck and Treant is a deck and, you know, like Engineer is a deck. There's also variations on different things. Also, there are different heroes that you use for each thing. So you'd also have to go into heroes, and you'd have to go into each of these and explain exactly how to play each of these decks in order to do a complete mirror match guide. And even having said all of that, you could still lose because it's mirror match. And because even if you have something as controlling as either a Dryad or a Scrapper, the game is still random. And it gets even worse if your deck doesn't have a Dryad or a Scrap, if the mirror match deck doesn't have a Dryad or a Scrapper, because then you are literally just merging random things. For example, there's a Boreas deck in here somewhere with a Shaman. I'll find it. Oh, I thought I found it. I thought it was down here. Oh, it is down here. So yeah, there's this Boreas, Shaman, Summoner, Harley Quinn, Mime deck. You don't have any way of controlling what you get. There is a strategy to that, and the strategy is to be reactive as opposed to active. I've also lost with that strategy. And by reactive as opposed to active, what I mean by that is wait for your opponent to shaman you, so that if they hit something, you can immediately, like if they hit a mime, for example, you use the mime to merge onto your shaman, and then it goes back to them, and then now they have to react to that. But since you started that, or they started that chain, it's already useless. They're already down one thing, because they shamaned you first and didn't get a hit because they shamaned your mime that you can then react to. And that's random. It's because what if they hit a Boreas? What do? Do you merge out the Boreas? Maybe, sometimes, but sometimes maybe you don't. Maybe you just let it die. And there's so many different decisions that you could state in a video, because I've done that where I've just reacted to them shamaning me, and I've, like, oh, they shamaned my Harley Quinn, perfect, I'll copy a shaman and then shaman them back. I've done that, but when they got merges, they merged into Boreases, and then when I reactively used all of my things that they were hitting, I got more shamans and mimes, which doesn't help my DPS. So yes, it's good, but then if you just don't merge into other Boreases in order to keep damage on the board, then they could just outdamage you because they just keep merging into Boreases, and then you could still lose anyway. And that's the problem. That is like the main core of the problem with mirror match. It's that I could give you a perfect strategy, which is what I'll do at the end of this video. I could give you a perfect strategy that I know is very good and very strong, and you can still lose for some other reason. And so if you were to watch a video of me explaining how to use all 32 of these decks, and then you committed all of that knowledge to your person, right? You understood, you watched a 20-hour video, and you understood all the tactics, and then you still lost all 12 of your games, you'd be like, why did I watch that video? And the answer is because the game is difficult. Because sometimes the game is just random, especially in mirror match where it is actually truly random. You can complain that when you go up against a 7200 crit person with a Zeus and a reincarnation 3 Frankie, that you died to that. But in this, you die to randomness sometimes, even if you know all the strategies in order to play all of the decks. So that's the reason why somebody wouldn't make a video. That's the reason why even if they did make that video, you could still lose. And I get like what this game is becoming. And I wanted to make this a separate video, but I'll just like shove it into this. I'll just shove my idea into this one because this is already kind of a rant video anyway. And I'm just going to link people to this video whenever they ask me about Mirror Match from now on. What this game is becoming, from like, maybe from like a content creator perspective, what this game is becoming is it's either too easy or it's too complicated. How do you win PvP? Well, that's easy. Just have a level 100 Zeus, 7200 crit, and a reincarnation 3 of the newest unit. That's how you win PvP. How do you win PvP with Boreas? You can't. How do you win PvP with Blade Dancer? You can't. How do you win PvP with reincarnation 3 Genie? You can't. Not really, because then you'll just be going up against reincarnation 3 Frankies, and Frankie is better. How do you win again? You know, like, yeah. So PvP is really easy. It's very simple. Level 100 Zeus, and, you know, the reincarnation 3 of the newest unit. Whatever the newest unit is, just have that. That's how you win PvP. And if you don't have that, you can't beat whatever. You can't beat that. It doesn't matter what you have. It doesn't matter what strategy you have. If you don't have that, you can't beat that, which means that you'll win against people who don't have that. You'll always lose against people who do have that. And it's that's how simple PvP is right now. There's no you cannot use some different reactive strategy to win against that with anything else. If they have a level 100 Zeus, if they have a 60 plus Zeus and you don't have Zeus, it's basically like playing like where you only have Bestie and they have Gadget. That's literally what it is. It's just a better hero. They're just strictly using a better hero, and you will always lose to it. If you have it, you'll never use any other hero, in the same way that if you have Gadget, you're never going back to Bestie, you're never going back to Captain. And that's how a person who has a level 100 Zeus feels. There is no reason for them to use any other hero. They're doing billions of damage with just the Zeus alone. Like, that's how it works. So this game is either overly simple in the way that PvP is built, or it's overly complicated in the way that this is built. So there's no reason to really make like PvP videos, because it's just have more crit and have a level 100 Zeus. But then it's also too complicated to do a mirror match guide, because there are too many variations of everything. And it would be insane. I used to line dance, and I knew a large quantity of line dances. I knew probably like 100, I don't know, probably in the hundreds of line dances. And each line dance was like 32 counts of different moves, 48 counts of different moves, 64 counts of different moves. And I knew a large quantity of line dances. And a lot of people would come up to me, and I became a teacher at some point. And I started to teach line dances. I started getting paid to teach line dances, right? And people would come up to me, and they would always ask me, hey, how do you learn all these line dances? How do you teach me all these line dances? Now, I, as a person who had this knowledge already, I knew all of these line dances. It was easy for me. Like, I did it all the time, and I learned them, and I committed them to memory, and you know, like, so I have this knowledge. So somebody would rightfully ask me and come up to me and be like, hey, I want to be as cool as you. You have like all this line dance knowledge. Give that to me. Teach me all these line dances, right? And I never really knew how to like respond to that for like a really long time. I was always like, you know, like you just gotta, I could teach you a couple, right? I can teach you one, right? And then you can use that one to like springboard your career and, you know, learn more, right? I could teach you basic moves right now. But they also wanted to like learn it for that night. Just that night, they wanted to know all the line dances that they did, right? for that night. All the songs, all the different things, right? And they just wanted to use it for just that night and then probably never again, right? Because everybody wants the easy answer. They just want you to do everything for them, short of doing it for them, right? They want the easiest way to do it. This is something that I've dealt with in different forms, in different ways that I have obtained knowledge, and people want that knowledge. So what ended up happening, or what I eventually ended up thinking about, was people would ask me, how do you know so many line dances? And I would argue to them, you speak English. How do you know so many words? Like, count the amount of words that you know. How many words do you know? In whatever language that you speak. And I'm assuming that since you've watched me talk, or listened to me talk for 15 minutes, you probably know English. If you don't know English, I don't know how you've been getting through this video. But I feel like if you know English, right, how many words do you know? Count how many words you know. How do you know how to string them in the sentences that you are stringing together? Like, how do you know that just works? And if you, and now imagine a non-English speaker coming up to you and saying, like, oh, I need you to, I want to make a YouTube video. I want to make a YouTube video and become super viral. Tell me how to talk in English. How do you translate, every word? Translate every word and, combine them into sentences and paragraphs and, and I want to be like Taylor's version and I want to rant for 16 minutes and 30 seconds. Can you explain just everything that he said in this whole video? Just every word. I don't speak English. Just, can you translate every word that he said in this and and translate it into my language, and because you know it, right? You know everything that he said in this video. Can you just translate that into this into Spanish, every word? Because I want to be like him. I want to learn. And you listen to his video. You listen to 17 minutes and one second of his video. Can you just translate all of that, everything he said and why he said it, and just translate all of that into Spanish, right? That's what it would be. It's like that complicatedness. It's like, it's not like you understood everything that I said right now, but trying to translate that to a different language for somebody else, it's possible. I'm not saying it's impossible, but then to have them comprehend why I'm saying everything is just a different layer. So now you have to not only translate it, but they have to also understand it. And that's what I mean. I could technically explain every single mirror match deck, but then I'd also have to teach you the nuances of playing every single mirror match deck. So not only would I have to explain how Engineer works and how Harlequin works and Mime works and Dryad works, and then I would have to explain to you what you should be doing at each stage of the game, right? Because you should be using Harlequins to, do you use the Harlequins on the summoners, or do you use the Harlequins on the Dryads? Do you copy the Dryads? Do you build small, early, or do you just use all the Harlequins on summoners? And then you just merge up summoners so that you can go into higher versions of Engineers, hopefully. But sometimes you'll merge into a level 5 Mime and then be stuck with it. Or you could theoretically merge into a level 5 Engineer and you'll probably win. And then showcase a gameplay where you do win, because showcasing a gameplay where you don't win would be useless, because then people wouldn't trust you. And then do that for all 32 decks, and just show how every unit works and how everything, that's how insane it is. And that's why you will never find anybody who does a mirror match video. This is Genie gameplay. I promised you gameplay, And this is the gameplay that I wanted to showcase. Because as I was playing this game, I was like, I'm totally going to win. Spoiler alert, if you don't want to skip ahead, because you could totally skip ahead and I could keep it a secret. I could keep it a secret whether or not I win or lose if you didn't already see it. Stay tuned for the end. You'll never guess. You'll never guess if I win or lose this. You'll never know. I lose. I lose this. You don't know how I lose. You'll never know how I lose this. Like, you couldn't just skip to the end and find out right now. But this is a deck that I have watched. For anybody that remembers, there was a YouTuber by the name of Rush Royale Taylor. That's me. There was a YouTuber by the name of Rush Royale Taylor's version. That's me. There was a YouTuber with the name Rush Royale Tips and Tricks, and his code name was Bear because he did other things and he went by Bear. And he used to. This is solely what he used to play all the time, 24/7. He did not play anything else. I don't remember ever seeing him play anything else unless it was an event that he just happened to be playing because he was like, I guess I'll play this event. But given the choice, this is all he played. It was Ifrit Genie. And I learned everything that I know based on watching him. Now, I'm going to pause this. And I'm going to get my tool out, maybe. There it is. Okay. So this is essentially what this is. Essentially, what he did was he built around the edges, and he called the center, the center squares, the well. And what he did was you just build up the edges, and then the ones in the center, you just keep burning out, and then you just keep merging them out. And maybe you build a couple of like really high level genies, like in these areas, or obviously on the opposite side. And then within the well, you just keep cycling this out. And so that's essentially what I'm going to do this entire video, or this entire game. I should keep one right here because you can't just leave the entire center empty. And I think that leaving one here, if you were to summon in either of the two other spots, if you summon in, I switched the thing. If you summon in either of these two spots, obviously you're getting max value because the way that Ifrit Genie, or the way that Genie works, when you summon in a Genie, whenever it makes a line, either up, down, diagonal, that's when you get stacks. And that's how you get Genie stacks. And so if you leave these and you summon a Genie in the center, you'll get 1, 2, 3, 4 Genie stacks. And every single time you summon one in, you just keep getting stacks. And that's how that works. That's the basis of how Genie works. And so what I'm doing here is I'm trying to build up these spots as high as I can, and then I'm just trying to rotate out the center so that it keeps burning, because every time a Genie burns and it goes away, you also gain a stack for how high the merge rank is. So for the most part, I'm getting like level 1s and having them burn out, and I get 1 stack from it. And so you don't lose. Even though you're summoning in and losing a Genie, you still gain something from it. And every single stack that you get, obviously your Genies all get more powerful. Now, the way that this top person is playing is he's building, there we go. He's building for some reason. He's building the center as high as he can. I should note that this he decided to copy a level 4 Genie earlier, And now it has the Harley Quinn damage debuff, so it's always going to be weaker for the rest of this game, because in Mirror Match you don't have counter spells. And obviously, since we don't have Mermaid and it's Mari, like that is never going to go away. So never Harley Quinn a genie, unless you want it to, unless you're trying to get rid of it. And he's just building the center here, and then he's just kind of summoning on the outside, and he's merging out on the outside. And it's such a weird fucking strategy. I don't, like, as soon as I saw him do this, I was like, I'm totally gonna win. I'm totally gonna run this as a mirror match video, or not even as a mirror match video, just like a how to don't play Genie, right? And that was my original goal when I made this, or when I played this game. I was like, I'm totally gonna record this afterwards, and I'm gonna make a how to don't play Genie. I'm gonna do like a, Rush Royale tips and tricks showed me all the ways to play a Genie. That's the only reason why I'm even kind of good at playing Ifrit Genie, was just passively watching him. And I was like, I'm totally gonna post this game. And obviously that doesn't happen because I lose. And it made me think about Mirror Match. And it made me, like, I got that Mirror Match comment, like, oh, when's the Mirror Match guide coming? I got that Mirror Match comment earlier this morning, and then I played this later that night. Or earlier that morning, and then I played this game later that night. And I was like, this is exactly why I don't want to make a Mirror Match video. Because I could give perfect strategy, I could give solid advice, and that advice sometimes doesn't matter. And I'd rather not give advice that doesn't matter. It's why it's so difficult for me to post just gameplay. I can't do it. I did it for 1 month just to show that there are stupid people out there that will subscribe to me because I post dumb gameplay, just a dumb gameplay video of nothing. Just a flashy, like, title and no commentary, no, I'm not adding any value of any sort to the conversation. I'm just saying, oh, isn't that great? Oh, Frankie Reincarnation 3, it beats Bard. It's so much better than Bard. Oh, buff Bard. Bard is so weak now. Like, oh, Bard is so good. It can beat Reincarnation 3. Reincarnation 3 Frankenstein. Oh, Bard is so good. Frankenstein needs a buff. Oh. Like, there's so many people that, like, post that type of content, and I can't do it. I refuse to play that game. I would rather have everybody unsubscribe to me because they don't like me talking than to post just that kind of video all the time to get 50,000 subscribers, because it would. I did it for like I did it for half a month. I did it for like in the area of like half a month. I just posted gameplay and a flashy title, and that's it. It was just no talking. Gameplay videos. If you weren't there for that time, I did it. You can backtrace my channel. And I posted just gameplay, and it was just a flashy, like, ridiculous title, and I gained like 30 subscribers. And in the last, like, month, I think I've lost like 20 subscribers for nothing, from doing basically nothing. And then, like, that's a lot of factors. Like, people stop playing the game, things, interests change, whatever. I'm just saying that in that experiment of just posting gameplay with no talking and adding no value to the conversation and just saying in one video, oh, Genie's so good, it beats everything. And then in the very next video, Genie is so bad, buff Genie. Like, just adding no value to any kind of conversation whatsoever and just posting a flashy title just so that you click on it. It gained me like 20 subscribers. And it just doesn't do anything for me. Like, there's no reason to do it. It feels like such dumb content. I would much rather this video make 5 people unsubscribe than to make that video and have 20 people subscribe. I'd rather do something that where it feels like I'm adding brain cells to the community. And the whole purpose of this video is to express to you, you have to play the game. You have to just play the game. This game is meant to be played. You have to just play the game. You cannot just look to people to make a guide so that you win all the time. Because it doesn't exist. Because it can't exist. Because you don't win all the time. I don't win all the time. And very evident with this video, I don't win all the time. I would like to think that this is perfect strategy. You can rewatch, I don't know if you've been watching this video and watching my gameplay and then watching his game, or you can rewatch it and watch his gameplay. And maybe you can rewatch his gameplay and be like, oh, he won, so, you know, he has the perfect strategy. But like, look how close this is. This literally comes down to this kind of wire, and I just end up losing. Like, look how close this is. Look how close this is. I mean, I guess you could say that it's not even close because his aren't even on like the last of the line. So maybe he's doing much better than me. And so yeah, just copy his strategy. Who cares? Maybe he had a better strategy. He still has that damaged Harley Quinn in the center. And he has it at level 5, and I don't have a level 5. So yeah, just copy his strategy. Maybe his strategy was better. I don't know. I mean, he has like a level 6 in the center. He has level 5. 2 of his things got merged out. Look at this. Who had the perfect strategy? Neither of us? Both of us? I don't know. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win right now? Look at his board. Look how close those 2 bosses are compared to mine. Yep. And I lost. Like, you know, like, you could rewatch his video, or you can rewatch his part and copy his strategy, which is complete opposite to my strategy. And he just managed to win, and I didn't. And I could give you this strategy. I could explain every move that I did within this entire gameplay. And it doesn't matter because I lost, right? Because I lost, and you know, you don't want to lose. Because you're watching this video because you want me to tell you how to win. And that's just, sometimes that's just not how the game works. You can have perfect strategy in this very mirror match, you know, like we both have the same deck, everything is equal kind of format. You could have the perfect strategy and you could still lose. And it's just because it's mirror match, because it's random, because at some point during mirror match, you have to merge out. There was somebody that said when Scrapper was introduced, it ruined the game. And I think this is what they meant. If I had a Scrapper, if we both had a Scrapper, one of us would probably win. Actually, no, it's still kind of random because it depends on what the Scrapper hits, and there is still a chance. There is still random chance with a Scrapper, even though it's more controlled than having a Dryad and having to merge out. But I definitely wouldn't have gotten stuck with some of those swords. And, you know, having to merge out and getting stuck with like a level 5 sword. But like, you know, if you were to use a Scrapper and like your Scrapper decided to level 7 one of your genies and then, you know, hit it again and then hit it again and then hit it again, right? That's random chance and you could still lose, where all of the rest of your genies are level 1s and you have a level 7 genie that just keeps getting hit by the Scrapper. You know, like that is also random. And so even with a Scrapper, it is also still random. And you could still lose. And then you could be like, well then, what was I supposed to do? And the answer is, fuck you. You know, like, sometimes the answer is fuck you, you know, because the game is like, you just lose because you lose. This is why you will never see anybody create a complete mirror match guide, because it's impossible. For a number of for all of the reasons why I've just listed. Because it's impossible to talk about every single deck and every single variation and every single thing that you're supposed to do at every single stage of the game. That is impossible to talk about. It's impossible to predict the randomness of those decks, and it's impossible to get somebody to want to listen to a 35-minute video. And that's why you'll never see a mirror match. You'll go ahead, go ask A Friend Gaming, go ask Godlike Mike, go ask Momo Royale. Hey, can you explain all 32 decks, all 32 mirror match decks? I'd love to. Let me know how they respond, because I trust that they will say, thank you for your comment. We will pass it on to the dev team.